Hey everybody, my name is Twotris and I wanted to talk a little bit about authenticity very briefly with you today. That's to say that when you have a discussion with somebody and you forget to say exactly what you mean, and this is provided that the person in front of you is trustworthy. I'm not talking about scrandos on the streets. Like, a cringeworthy thing that you said which you regret. I've noticed that a lot of those cringeworthy things that I end up regretting down the line were things I didn't really believe in, things I said specifically for effect. And I'm like, oh, okay, that wasn't something I would have said to my closest friends. And I wanted that person to like me. And so I lost a little bit of my own my mental point of origin. And when you're meeting new people and almost sounding like have you ever talked to somebody like a successful person and almost have the impression that you're trying to get a date? Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, talking to a guy almost like you're trying to get a date out of them is a really uncomfortable experience that happens to you when you network and want to get out there a little bit more. And I've noticed that that's usually a scenario where you're going to accidentally say those cringeworthy things you are most certainly going to regret down the line. And so when you make enough of those mistakes and learn from them, the authenticity and the honesty that you express to people can be sharpened like a sword. And the more you sharpen it, the more you have like a, you don't want to go to bed at night and kick yourself in the butt because you didn't speak exactly what you should have in that particular moment. But when you start to do that and you take the risk of being a little, of disagreeing with that person, getting a good example of this is when I got into an argument with my boomer friend when he told me that I needed to show him a reputable news source for him to take my argument seriously. And he almost was insinuating that I was uneducated, misinformed, very scathing words, if you will. And I basically pointed at him. I'm like, hey man, I like you, but don't talk to me that way. I have a lot of respect for you. I like you as a person. And I'm not going to let you take the moral high ground just so that you can win an argument. And he looked surprised and he backed down and he's like, hey man, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry. And I wasn't being a dick. I was just assertive. But I was able to go to sleep at night without really thinking about what had happened too much. I mean, yeah, it sucked that I had to have a little bit of a confrontation with my friend, but I didn't resent him because I spoke up. We worked it out. The same way when you're making a new connection with somebody and expressing yourself, they always say like, oh, don't be yourself. That's terrible advice. It's terrible advice if you want to be a fake person and play this game. And I'm going to be honest with all of you guys. I haven't really been playing the networking game very well because I'm me. That's not going to change. And if somebody doesn't like what I'm about, it's a shame. But I'm not going to purposefully change my own values just so I can be affiliated with a network of people for clout or some kind of superficial reason. Like I don't need that. And I can go into these situations now feeling a bit more powerful because I can at least know that I'm not going to regret the interaction. Because what I show that person, or what I want them to think is what you see is what you get. I don't want to be thought of as anything other than how do I even put it? The thing that I'm putting forward, the essence that I want them to see, shouldn't be any different than how I feel about myself. Now they can interpret that in any way that they want, but I would rather them interpret the real thing than the fake thing. And I feel a sense of solace from that. And if you're the same way as me, what I recommend to all of you is don't lie, speak your mind. And if you get that feeling that, I'm going to regret this if I don't say something, speak up, say it. Whether it's uncomfortable, If it's something that you really would like to get off your chest, say it. And that way, when you regret things, at least you don't regret who you were. Maybe you regret the situation or you're upset about how things turned out, but you're happy enough where you can just feel a little at peace with yourself. I hope that this is kind of making sense. So, that's more of my little Shinjuku 2 cents for you guys today. Otherwise, peace out.